Good morning. It is Thursday, the 16th of March, and we continue looking at the book of the prophet Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 10, and verses 11 to 24. And as I read this, I was struck by the parallels that we have explored elsewhere in these little morning talks. I think back a number of months now to our exploration of the book of the prophet Isaiah, and where Isaiah, like Jeremiah, and of course elsewhere in scripture, God speaking through the prophet says, what have your idols done? What have their hands created? What have their mouths spoken? Are their eyes able to see? Are their ears able to hear? Now this is, in a sense then, something of a common refrain, but it's God challenging those who persist in obeying and following and listening to or worshipping these idols. And he says the idols have done nothing, absolutely nothing. And God then talks about the whole creation and says it's through his power, through his wisdom, through his knowledge that God has created everything that there is. And what have the idols done? Nothing. In fact, the idols are pieces of stone and wood and perhaps even metal, which were themselves created by the hands of God in his wisdom and in his power, by his knowledge and understanding. And so what are these idols? And I just love it, because I just think this is such a play on words, and it holds the idols up to be utterly useless as they really are. And God just points this out. But do the people hear? And of course, the question must be, do we hear? What idols do we have in our life? We might, not have a little stone carved wooden whatever thingy in our living room. And if you do, be very cautious, because what are you really saying? But we don't have these things per se, but what do we have? What idols exist in our lives? And I hearken back to my most common refrain, because it is one of the most common and in-your-face idols, I believe, in the modern Christian world, that of health and wealth and prosperity, of status, of being able to show yourself as being bigger and better than someone else. Perhaps it's your education. You like to boast and tell people how many degrees you have. Whatever the idol is that we have, we need to know that that idol is a very serious threat, if not an existing threat, against our relationship with God. It distracts us and takes us away from God. So the very commonality of this refrain in Isaiah and Jeremiah and elsewhere, even Moses speaking about this in the first 5 books of the Old Testament, the Pentateuch, which we also worked through a little earlier. The commonality is because all of the prophets are saying this. It's a very real threat to Israel, and it is still a very real threat to us today. So the homework is for us to prayerfully ask God, what idols do we have in our life? It might be the holiday period. I've already spoken about money and status. It might be the size of our property or the number of our cars, whatever. Ask God to reveal them to you and then get rid of them. And sometimes it's not possible to get rid of everything. You have to live in a house, but put it in its right perspective. In a sense, tell the house who's boss. Don't let the house boss you. Folks, have a good day. Lots to think about and pray about, and we'll come back again tomorrow. God bless.